All right, guys. So coming to the pandas that we have started already. So just want to refresh yourself, on this. The pandas is an open source Python library for data analysis that you already guys know. The pandas is mainly, give the ability to work with the spreadsheet like data for faster loading, manipulating, aligning, merging, and so many other operations we can able to achieve through the pandas, right? And it is actually introducing two data types. One is a data frame, one is a series.
Yes.
So let's say how are we going to work with this pandas? You already seen that we grabbed this, the gap minded data that we have. I think you have already shared you this, the GitHub account. Yes, you can grab this gap minded data for now. We're going to use complete all the data sets throughout the data science. So don't worry about it. So the three. So we need to take a raw file from here, right? So once you click that, you can directly copy this location of the URL and paste it over here. So first of all, when you're working with the pandas, you must have to import the pandas as PD. Yeah? Yes, guys? And see, in order to run this particular cell, you must have to say the control enter or shift enter. If you wanted to get the new cell, then use the shift enter. So it's going to run the very first line and it's going to give you a new cell for you. Or if you just wanted to run not the new cell, then you just need to say the control enter, right? So however, right now here, say the df, I'm taking a variable as df. It's a data frame. It's not something that you have to take df. You can take anything that you wanted here. So the df is equals to the pd dot read csv function, right? Read csv function. You can actually provide the link over here, right? Yeah. But it is not CSV file, isn't it? So it's a TSV file, that is a tab separated file. So when something that this way, you need to say that separated parameter and saying that it's the /t. That means tab separated values. Those are not comma separated values. Those are tab separated values, as you already aware. Yes? Yes, guys?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm running this cell for now and say, so it's running. So how do we know? So whenever it's showing the star, it's still running it. Now you got a number, that means you already finished finished this thing. Yeah. Hold on a second, guys. So so if you wanted to know the first 5 data from this data, so let's say the df, you need not to use the print function over here in the Jupyter. You can directly say like this. Instead of saying this way, the df dot head, right? Right? You can even say that this way, the df dot head, right? Say the control enter, right? If you want 10 samples has to be visited, there's a 10. If you want 100 samples, but don't try to review the 100 samples like this, right? So let me stick to this file for now. Yeah. If you wanted to manually add the cell, you can actually use the plus over there. You're going to get this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to go, guys. So what is the type of this DF? First of all, what is the type of this DF? What is the type of DF? The DF is a data frame type, right? So the data frame, in a sense, it is trying to represent the complete data on this gap-minded data, right? If you're targeting only the single column or a single row, it's a series object. No, it is actually a data frame object because we're trying to, pointing to the complete data, right? It's spreadsheet like a data. Yes? Yes, guys?
Yeah.
You can even comment, you can give a markdown things as well if you wanted to. Let's say if you wanted to know, let's say this is my heading, let's saying that to know the size of my data, df, let's say, right? I'm trying to enter this. Say it's a heading, right? So if you wanted to know the size of my data, so df.shape, right? Shape is an attribute. Shape is not a method. So if you enter, it's going to let you know that we have 1,704 rows of data and 6 columns we have. If you wanted to know what columns it has it, so df.columns, right?
Mm.
So the columns we have it at country, continent, year, life expectancy, pop, GDP per cap. So this is what we have it. Yes.
Yeah.
Good to go, guys.
Yeah.
Right. Don't ever try to use the parenthesis for the columns or shape, because the shape and columns is an attribute. It is not a method. If you're trying to add the parenthesis to that, it's definitely going to be an error, right? If you wanted to know what types of data it is holding in every each column, but it looks like, we know that this is a string object. We know that this is also a string object. We know that this is an integer. This is a float. This is a integer. This is a float. But sometimes, the date time operations, when you have it, it's something like looks like a date, but it is not a strictly a date time formatted. It is strictly like an object formatted, right? So in that sense, whenever you wanted to know the types of data, what it is holding, the data it is holding, you can say that df.d types, right? So it's going to tell you that country is an object. So the equivalent form of object in the Python is a string. So don't worry about it. Yeah. So we have year is an int 64. That means it's a logic capacity in that sense. The float 64 in 64 print 64. Isn't it so, guys? If you want to get the complete information about what data that you're trying to retrieve, the complete information, you can actually use a method called the d types is a attribute. It's not a method. Now you're trying to use now the info method. It's a method. So the df dot info, info method. So see, so it is a data frame. Now the range, it starts from, there are 1,704 entries in the data. So that is 0 to 700 and 1703. The columns that we have 6 columns, these are the column non-null object. That means there are no missing values in the data. The country column, we have complete data is filled. We have all the columns that the complete data is filled. There are no missing things in the data. Something that we may have a situation in the real time, you may be facing, this is something missing. This is missing somewhere. So we don't have any missings in this particular data. Don't worry about it, right? Good to go. So if you want to try to retrieve this particular column, how do you do normally? Say, if you wanted to retrieve the particular column, let's say the country underscore df, and I'm taking a just variable over here, the df of the country, right? Say right now. All right, so if you wanted to view the country underscore df, simple as that. See, we have all of them, but I'm not interested to view all of them, so I'm going to say that it's just 5. Just 5. See, good to go. If you want to view the last things, the country underscore df dot tail, all the time shift enter, right? You can actually view this complete doc as in a single thing. You need not to save it somewhere again. It just, if I share this file to you guys as a file, the IPMB, if I share you this file particularly, what you can actually do, you can actually open the Jupyter. You can actually open this particular file I'm going to share with you guys in a later point of time. And you can simply look at complete executions in a single file rather than, saving it in a different folder, and you can open that, you can running it. It's no need to have the results also going to be saved in the Jupyter, right? If you still wants to run again, you can still run. It's not an issue, right? Good to go, guys. So if you wanted to retrieve, let's say the more than one column, I said already to you guys, let's say subset is equal to df of, I wanted to retrieve this country. I wanted to retrieve this continent, right? I want to retrieve this pop. Let's say I want to retrieve this year, right? Good to go. And I'm saying that we can actually write here itself the subset dot head. Say this, right? All right, so we made a mistake. What is the mistake that we have done in scenes? See, if it is only the one, you just need to write directly within the df of the square bracket over here. But if it is more than one, you have to pass it in the form of list, not like this way. Yes, guys?
Okay.
Say this. Good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got only the specific columns that we have retrieved right now. Yes?
Yeah.
Well then. Now it's a time to, see, I'm marking down this. It's a time to, we have specific methods for subsetting. There are some specific methods for subsetting data. So the important methods are lock. Let's say lock and iLock.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm marking down. I'm going to execute this. So this is going to be an heading. Yeah. If you just wanted to do the control shift, it's a shift enter. Okay.
Okay.
Well done. So let's say my question is right now. See, you have already seen the data right now here. So I wanted to retrieve only the very first one, this particular row of data. We were trying to retrieve the column basis data. Yes. And
Yeah.
my intention is right now I want to retrieve the row wise data. I wanted to retrieve only the very first one, the very first row. How should I want to retrieve then? So we have, as I said, we have a lock and iLock, right? This is a location, to say lock and iLock. I'll tell you what is lock and iLock. See, if I wanted to retrieve the very first data from this data, right? So if I want to retrieve again, df dot head, so the shift enter in this data. So if I want to retrieve, I can say that the df dot, if I use lock, it is going to searching for the zero row name. It is a row name. It is not an index. You need to understand it. So if ever the point is we are trying to use lock, then it is searching for the row name. The row name is here 0. These are all row names. Don't think that these are all not. In fact, it is
Columns.
indexes, right?
Yeah.
So these are all actually a row name. So if I'm trying to retrieve this way, say Control Shift Enter, we're trying to get the very structured way of these kind of operations that we have done in the data structures. If you have observed, we're trying to converting into certain manner, saying that country, the name is equals to, Vishali, and the profession this and that. Yeah, we're going to get this same way, isn't it? Yeah. So the logic is typically same, but they have used something else like print it the what type of data it is holding completely. Yeah. Isn't it so, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to access, let's say 99th one, you can actually do that same df dot like the 99. Yeah. Say this one. It's a Bangladesh, Asia. Year is 1950-67. Yeah. Okay. Then if we were trying to use df dot lock off -1, what does it mean?
Index.
We don't have the index. We don't have a row name. We don't have a row name as -1. I'm talking about there is a difference between an index and the row name.
Yeah.
See, whenever you're trying to use a lock, it only see that where it finds the row name. So I say that 0 here, it is trying to see the where is a row name which starts with 0. It is over here. Then it's trying to retrieve this one. Then when I mention 99, it knows that there is a 99 row number, right? So it is not an index. I'm not saying it. It is not at all an index. It is you're trying to retrieve 99 index position. So it's going to give you this. But there is no such thing as a -1 in the as a row name, right? So that is the reason we are getting an error here, right? Don't ever try to do this, yeah? But if I use iLock, the only the difference between lock and iLock is iLock works on the index basis. Lock works on the row names, right? See, if I'm running back this, I'm going to get it the last one. So 1,704 rows of data that we have it, right? The last row of data, which is this. If I use iLock, iLock works in the index basis. Lock versus lock is works on the basis of row names, right?
Okay.
Getting me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, so let's say if we can also do in other ways. If you say that number of, let's say, rows is equals to the df dot shape of 0. What does it mean? What does it mean?
It gives the
Shape of
data
0.
types of
It will show number of.
First of all, if I say the df dot shape, which returns the number of rows in terms of what type it is returning,
data frame.
tuple.
Oh,
Yes or no? It's returning a tuple. In this way, let's say this 1704 on 6 columns. But what is the type of this? It's a tuple or not? Square brackets and open brackets.
Yeah.
Let us
Yeah.
go back here. Say what it is returning here. What it is returning.
Yeah. Tuple.
If it is a square brackets, we can say that it's a list. But it is returning in the form of open brackets.
Yeah.
That is that how a tuple could be. You're going to write the tuple in the open brackets, right? It's not in the square brackets. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Then if I say the shape of 0, what it could be?
first row. I mean,
This one, right?
Yeah.
Yes or not?
Yeah.
This is 0th position. We can subset the data in the tuple also, but we cannot change the data. The tuple elements are immutable. That means we cannot change the data, we cannot replace the data, we cannot update the data, we cannot add the data. We can happily retrieve the data through the index spaces. So the df dot shape of 0, that means this.
Okay.
The df dot shape returns this. In that 0th position is this, and the first position is this. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now if I say the last row of index is equals to number of rows minus 1. So because we have 0 to 1703, not 1704. Yeah? Good to go, guys? Now if I say the df dot lock, the last row, if I wanted to use only the lock method and retrieve the last row of data, we can directly provide 1703. Instead providing 1703 directly, we can actually retrieve this way. Yeah?
Okay.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Same thing. This is same thing. iLock. This is also same thing. If you use iLock, we can directly say the -1, it's going to come directly. Or if you use lock, then it has to be 1703. Right? Same thing like I'm taking this shape of this particular first element of the shape returning result. So I'm trying to give a minus value 1 because it's 0 to 1703. The length is 1704, but when the time it's going to be counted, it's 0 to 1703. So that is the reason I'm taking a -1. So the 1703 comes to the picture. They're trying to retrieve the 1703 row number using lock. Good to go, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Any confusions?
No.
Sure?
Yeah.
You can even say the df dot tail of n is equals to 1. Say this one, yeah?
Yeah.
This is the last row, this is same, and this is also same, yeah?
Yeah.
Good to go, yeah. Now, but what is the type of this? If I say let's say subset row is equals to df dot lock of 0. You know what I'm trying to retrieve? Yeah. So if you want, I can say that subset row. Yes. So this is the first row of data.
Mm.
But what is the type of this? Yes, guys. What is the type of this?
It's
We have the data frame and
The data frame is something
yeah,
that
data
it's going to
frame.
represent the complete data. But when you're trying
Everything
to
is one. This
targeting a
is
single row or a single column, it's a series. I just said, because the pandas introducing two data types, as I said, one is data frame, one is a series object. So the data frame is something that it is represent complete data. The series is something representing a single row of data or single column of the data.
oh, then it is a series.
Series. Got
yeah,
it?
Yep.
yeah.
All right. So very fine. So let's say if I wanted to retrieve the multiple rows of data, so what should I do? Let me mark down this. Yeah, if you want it. Retrieving multiple rows of data. Yeah, running it. And this is heading. So how do you do? The df.lock. So as I said, if you're trying to retrieve only one, that is this way. But if you're trying to retrieve more than one, you must have to provide in the form of list again, in the same way that we have accessed. Yeah. So let's say I want to have this one, 9th one on 999, We don't have 4 nines because the data itself 1704. Right. Now I'm running it. All right, there is a mistake. What mistake that we have done? There is a comma mistake
There is
over here. Say 08th, 9th one, 99th one, 9991. Good to go?
yeah.
All right, great. Let's say if you're using, see, you need to understand it's trying to retrieve the 0th row name data, 9th row name as data. So these are the names. These are not something different. I'm saying it. These are the row names. But when I'm trying to use ilock, right? ilock, then again, it's the same because the row name and indexes are very same here in this sense. You understand my point? In this data, the row names and the indexes very same. That is the reason you're able to retrieve the same data using lock and ilock. Yes or not?
Yeah.
You understand my point?
Yeah.
So because 0th, see, it started with 0th as a name. When you're trying to use ilock, let's say this 0th is something else, let's say. Now you're trying to use ilock to retrieve the 0th column, 0th row. I mean to say, that means definitely this. It doesn't matter if this is something different also. Because it only knows that this is a 0th position, this is the first position, this is the second position, the third position. It doesn't matter what number also it's there over here. If you're using ilock. Because ilock only works on the indexes way. Let's say if you're trying to use log, let's say this is not 0, this is something else. You're trying to use log with the 0th row, there is no such thing because it cannot retrieve it. It's not finding the 0th as name of row. Yes?
Yeah.
Understanding my point?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So lock and ilock both, I mean, the index numbers are same as the row numbers which we
In
are
this data, yes, in this data, the sequence of numbers,
What
it's
is
actually
included?
acting as like row names. And at the same time, if you use ilock, it is also an index is acting as like. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say in certain situations where you might see that we're going to change this one as well. But there are situations like these things, the row names could be different. That means like it may be like ABC, right? In that sense, if you're using lock of 0, Could be, you cannot find it because there is no such thing as a 0 as a name as a row name. Yeah. But if you use iloc of 0, it doesn't matter what it is there. It is going to retrieve the 0th index. The 0th index is this, the very first one.
Harish, but we are not giving the index numbers, right? It's auto-generated ones or
it is auto-generated one because when you're trying to use PD, to read CSV function, it is automatically generate the sequence of numbers, indexes, in fact.
So,
but if
generating these index numbers cannot be the same every time. Oh, I mean, are they the same?
see, we can change them. I'm saying it. It would be same all the time, but we can actually change them. Sometimes in situations where you want to specifically wants to have the indexes as dates.
Okay.
The indexes as the complete date, month, and year, date, year, month, date, and formatted. Not something like your 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in that sense, the indexes get changed. Even if you're trying to use iloc of 0, it's going to retrieve the very first row. But if you're using lock, you must have to specify what it is there. If you say that lock of 0, it's not going to be find it because there is no as a 0 name as an index.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Good to go, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, see, in this case, if I say the df dot lock of, so we know that we have it, of course. We have this 0th as a name, as a row. Then you're trying to retrieve that particular row. Good to go?
Yeah.
If I'm using df dot iloc of 99, that means I'm trying to retrieve the 99 index position. This is the one. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good to go, guys?
Yeah.
All right. Let's say. So tell me this. Is there any mistake over here? Is there any mistake?
No.
Sorry?
99.
No.
No.
It's a mistake because we're not providing in the form of list. It is more than one.
Oh. Okay. Concentrating on the numbers only. Okay.
So this is, but you are actually looking out for 0th index, 99 index, 100th index, and 101 index numbers. But if I use here, let's say lock, you're looking out for 0th name of row name and 99th row name. It has to be a name as a 99. You need to understand.
Yeah.
It is not an index. It is looking out for 99th row name and 100th row name, 101 row name. Let's say we don't have such like this, -1 row name. That is the reason it's not able to retrieve. See, it's not able to retrieve. So it says that the -1, we don't have anything as such, but it's still including it. But the point is here, we don't have as a we don't have any row name as a -1. That is the reason, but simply it is retrieving this. See, you cannot end it. It cannot be failed. That is the reason it's giving you the nans. Nans in the sense, not a number, right? Not a number. So let's say if I'm using lock here, iloc here. No, it knows that iloc works in the indexes way. iloc of -1, it is starting from the last index, right? No, it's it. Difference. Simple as this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very great. Now let's say this is very wonderful right now. Say this. If you're very smart, say this. Very smart or smart?
Oh, give me a question.
So if you say very smart, I'm going to ask you a few bit harder ones. If you say smart, then
let's start from simple then.
So this is bit
Okay.
logical one because you already worked on the data structures.
Yeah.
So it is very similar to the same kind of operations over here. But the only the point we are not writing any logics to get it retrieve of those things. But here we have a flexibilities all the time
Mm.
because we are
Mm.
we have worked on various logic things and we know that how. And now it is a time to thinking on the data, what we can do with the data, and how we can able to think on the data. It's more important, right?
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
so what is the meaning of this right now?
Uh, all the rows.
Whatever number before and after, it will print from then to the
Yes, great thing, wonderful. Now, if I say here,
0 to 4.
comma, then
Maybe step.
say I'm using log. Remember that point. So you're starting from ending to okay. What is this comma? Then after and nothing is there. If I'm running back, say yeah.
Yeah.
Then if I'm putting here, let's say this. Let's say I don't want this all of them. I want only the year and pop from this. But I still wanted to use lock only. But how should I want to retrieve that?
Year and pop. You should include year and pop in the brackets.
But I
After
want
comma.
only the specific row of data, not all the data.
And also mention
Let's say I want
the
8,
index.
I want 8, 88, and triple eight, and I want only the columns of year and pop. How should I do that?
Log of 8, 88
Here,
as a list. As a list. Yeah.
okay, very fine. 8, 88, and triple eight. Okay.
Okay. Take off the
Comma
comma.
and then life expectancy.
No, I want only the year and pop.
I thought
Year and
again a separate brace is outside.
See, if I run this program, so we're going to get this, but I don't want all of them.
Yeah.
I want year and pop still.
Okay.
so mention year and pop in the next list.
See, we can directly mention here itself, saying that year, right?
Comma, pop.
All right, don't no comma here itself. Pop,
Yeah.
pop. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
So, but if I use ilock, what's the problem? There's a problem. Why is the problem? See, we definitely have 8 and 88 and triple eight indexes.
Index numbers, but year comma pop or not.
In the columns also, it is counting that it is a 0th position, it's a first position, it's a second, third, fourth, fifth.
Okay.
So you should not include the names of the column. The
You should
names of the column you can only include for the lock because I said lock only works as a names of a column or a row, names of a row. Row names or column names you must have to include for the lock. But if you're
Yeah.
using ilock, columns are also in indexes.
Yeah.
So the country is a 0th index, the first index for the continent, second, third, fourth, fifth. So instead of giving the column names, if I give it here as such as I want third, yeah, 0, 1, 2,
Yeah.
yes, 2, right? 3,
Yeah.
so it's no pop, it's a 4. Yeah, now see. Got it?
Yeah.
Good to go. Now let's say, very smart, right? So tell me this. The df dot ilock, my bad. df dot ilock, and I'm saying all of them, the comma, right? And 2 comma 2 comma 4 comma minus 1. And think what method I have used it and how I used it, whether it is correct or not. Think all the way and tell me.
Correct.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, pop and G. Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
If you say 5 here, you're going to get the space. Yeah?
Yeah.
Then tell me this.
That's from because 6 does not exist.
Why this many lists inside?
Sorry?
No.
No?
Why did we use this many brackets inside?
Okay, you want me to use only one?
Yeah.
Right?
7 does not
Yeah,
exist.
right.
Sorry?
7 column number does not exist.
Okay.
In log to mention the column name, right? We cannot mention the index.
Yeah.
You got the point.
So we must have to include the column names, not the column numbers. So whatever you're trying to retrieve, let's say country. Let's say this is continent, right? Let's say this is about 5, and this is. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yeah.
All right. So smart, tell me this. df dot iloc of, yeah, and say this right now.
It's 0 to 10 rows.
Let's say 5, 8, 10, 11, or whatever it is, comma, this is now 1, 2, 3, whatever. Then this is closed.
Yeah, correct. I mean, we didn't close the first list, right?
Shouldn't it be enclosed in a list?
This one?
Yeah.
To where? It is enclosed only.
Okay.
From here to here it is enclosed.
Then I think we will get the row data of 5, 8, 10, 10 and 100.
It's
And we get the
actually
column.
incorrect. Because see, if you're trying to specify the specific row number or a column, whatever it's so, you're trying to retrieve those specific ones. If it is a more than one, you must have to specify in the form of list.
Yeah.
So you must be kept it in the form of list. This way. Yeah. Then you're trying to retrieve this. Now tell me this one.
Yeah.
df dot iloc. Yeah. Of then 2 to let's say 15. Yeah. Then comma. Let's say 1, 2, 4.
This could be correct only. It's second, third, fourth, fifth column of 2 to 15 rows.
It is also an incorrect because because see, whenever you're trying to provide the range from here to somewhere, you must not provide in the form of list. So this is incorrect.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Whenever you're providing in the form of range from here to there, you should not provide in the form of list. You can directly provide this way. Good to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's say. And tell me this. Let's say this. 2, 6.
Okay.
2 to 15 with step 2.
But it is locked, so we have to specify the column.
Here.
2 to 15 rows with a step of 2.
No, first of all, tell me whether it is correct or not.
It's not correct.
It's
not
not
correct.
correct. It's locked.
It's not correct.
All right, because it's a lock.
Yeah.
Because we need to specify in the form of columns. Let's say if I specify as you said, I want to have in the form of country to, let's say, GDP per. So what is that? GDP per cap. Is it correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
See, I'm not giving in the form of range in the number, in the form of numbers. I'm giving in the form of here the column names, the range, the country to GDP per cap in the range. Is it correct?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You-
It is
you
correct.
Okay.
See, basically, this is you're trying to look for the row names.
Yeah.
The step is 2, but not 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. The 15 is
Yeah.
not included because there is no other point for it. So the next is the country to GDP. The country to GDP. Good to go?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
thought the range only works with the numbers, I thought, but
Mhm. Yeah. So tell me this. Correct?
why there is a comma over there?
Sorry?
I mean, after the column, we have a comma over there.
It is a comma there, right here.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so step size of 5.
Yeah?
And I think it's correct.
Sure? Correct or not?
What does that mean? The first step, list range of 5.
See, first of all, you're trying to use range of 5. That means it's generating the numbers from 1 to 5. You're trying to convert into a list. The list, you're trying to put it over here.
Okay.
See. All right. So we are trying to look all the things. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns. This is a column.
Yeah.
The list of 5 columns, because you're using iLock, the numbers only acceptable at the column side, right? Then all the data. So I don't want all the data, only 5 data. So basically, you need to understand whether you're using iLock or lock, whatever it's so, right? If I put a comma here, the right side path, the right side space is for the columns. The left side space is for the rows. So whether you're using the iLock, if you're using iLock, it has to be on the index basis rather than the names of the column or the row names, right? If you're using lock, rather than it's an index numbers, you have to include the row names or column names. Here it is for the row names, here it is for the column names. Simple as that. Yeah? But tell me, is it right now?
Sorry?
Is it right?
It gives a complete data.
df.iloc, I just said comma. Is it right?
Yes.
Rahul,
Yeah, we didn't mention any
of
number.
course. So,
It will be displaying everything maybe,
no.
but we also
No,
didn't mention that.
because it's an invalid syntax. First of all, it doesn't know what to retrieve and what to retrieve at the column sides. See, if I provide the column there, let's say, right here and here, then it's proper. There's no issue. If you don't even include this column over here, it's okay still. But at least you have to say for the row names, because what it has to retrieve, unless it is retrieving any row, there is no columns first of all. మనము రో డేటాను రిట్రీవ్ చేయకపోతే how come it's going to retrieve the columns first of all? The row and columns are linked together, right? Yes, so that's the way. So if I say, if I remove it here and if I put it here, then what's the problem? Still, it's not invalid, it's an invalid, right?
Yeah.
Yes, guys. So even if I put it empty, it's an invalid. But if I put a one column here, it's okay. Even if I put column here, that means all the columns, even if you don't put it, all the columns. Right? If I put double columns, still it is okay. If I put double columns here, still it is okay. Right? If I put triple columns, what does it mean?
I don't think it's correct.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. So make sure you put a lot of effort experimentally on this. And
Yeah.
coming to the point. So if I have a question for you guys right now. Let's say I wanted to retrieve what is the country of the fourth row? That is Afghanistan. But how should we retrieve that? Good to go? Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Understand? If I ask you the question, what is a country at this particular position? This is, yeah?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Tell me this. Is it correct, first of all?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. I putting under list. Yeah, it's correct one, because we're using iloc. If you are trying to retrieve the specific columns, you must have to, if it is more than one, you must have to provide in the form of list. If it is just a one, you need not to provide in the form of list. Yeah? Right. So let us go and jump into something else. Right. Now, the point is, now if I raise a question, here, the def dot head, right? Yeah. If I raise a question, what is the average life expectancy? What is the average life expectancy in the year 92? The average life expectancy for the year 92. I'm not talking about the country specific. I'm not talking about the continent specific. I'm talking about here. My question is, what is the average life expectancy for the 1952? First of all, how many 1952s are there in the data? So how do you retrieve the, first of all, the 1952 data? Let's say the df of the DEF of year, right? Year equals to 1952. Is it correct? How many we have 1952s? We have so many, 142 rows. The different continents that we have it, country, continents we have it, and we have overall. Is it correct? First of all, have you understand this syntax? What I'm trying to do is, see, if I don't include this, let's say, I know that you have a question this, at least you understand this.
Yeah.
So the DEF of year, I'm trying to represent this year, where it is equals to 1952 year, then it's trying to reach it. Then if I'm running this, it only knows that true, false, true, false, true, true. True means it
Okay.
matched. False means it doesn't match with the 1952. But
Yeah.
in order to get the data itself, you must have to provide this way. Yeah.
Okay.
That means
Okay.
whatever it is true, the DF of true, that data is going to be retrieved. That means now it is this. See. Good to go?
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to know the shape 142 data that we have it in the 1952. So my question is here, what is the average life expectancy for the year 1952? Or what is the average life expectancy in each year that we have in the data? We don't know how many years that we have it, right? In the 1952 we have it, 1957 we have it, 1962 we have it. We have so many others. But my question is, for each year in our data, what is the life expectancy, average life expectancy? In each year in our data, what is the average life expectancy? How do you do? So you don't know. So say this. So I'm trying to group according to the year, right? So that we have done in the very 71th line here for the 1952. You need not to do this way for all the years because we don't know. At the very first we came to know that it's a 1952. That is the reason we've seen this. We did this, yes. But see, it's not something that you're trying to know all the years and trying to, collaborate with this way, right? It's not. It's a very bad idea. But we have a function called group by, right? So I'm trying to group all the years, unique years, together. 1952 at one separate object, 1957 one separate object, 1962 one separate object. Yeah. Likewise, I'm grouping by according to the year, right? Right. So after grouping the year-wise data, so 1952 ఒక దగ్గర పెట్టాను, 1957 ఒక దగ్గర పెట్టాను. After segregating the data according to the year, so I'm trying to find the life expectancy. So this is something which is going to grouping the years, right? Grouping the years, individual years together, and I'm trying to know the life expectancy, right? I'm only interested in the life expectancy. Just take out all other columns, in that sense. Then I'm trying to know the mean. Mean in sense average. In the 1952, the average life expectancy is 49.057. In the 1957, the average life expectancy is 51.5, right? Is it repeated anywhere? No. We have only these unique years.
Yeah.
Is it wonderful? Would you tell that manually anything this way?
Syntax is a little bit confusing.
All right, confused.
Why do we use tuples, normal brackets for a year?
See, I said the group by is a function. When I say it's a function, you must have the parenthesis. When it's a method, parenthesis. Yes or not?
Yeah.
Yes, Vishali?
Yes.
Are you sure, guys? Understanding it?
Yeah.
So the group by function. So what you wanted to group it? I wanted to group my year basis. So I'm grouping it on my year basis. 1952 one object, 1957 one object. So it's all segregated. Now I'm trying to want only the life expectancy, then only the life expectancy is retrieved. Then you're trying to know the individual 1952 life expectancy mean, then you're trying to get a mean.
Mm.
Yes?
Yeah.
Let's say in this sense right now, I don't want the life expectancy. Pop. In the 1952, the average population is, in the year 1952, I'm not talking about any specific country. I'm not talking about any specific continent. I'm talking about only the year wise. In the 1952, we have the average population is 1.69. It is about, I think, a million wise. I don't know exactly. Right?
Mm.
Yeah. So in this way, so I mean to say we have E here. That means it's not 1.6. I mean to say it's going to be 1.69 million maybe. I don't know exactly. Right? So let's say I don't want this way. Let's say I wanted to group according to the two things. Let's say if you say that in that way, right?
Mm.
Guys, if you
Yeah.
say in that way, let's say I want to group it according to two things. That is year. And see, if I said, I keep on saying same thing, one thing. If you're trying to group it or if you're trying to retrieve it, data more than one, you must have to provide in the form of list. So year here in the continent, right? You must have to provide it in the form of list. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're not interested in pop. Let's say if you're interested in expectancy and let's say and any other things like GDP per cap. Yeah?
Yeah.
Then look at this. All right, it's not this. Yeah. In the 1952, the continent Africa, the average life expectancy is this. How wonderful it is right now. According to the year, because we had a year first. That is a year. The continent Africa, the average life expectancy for the Africa only is 39.13. The average, the GDP per cap is 1252.57, whatever it's so. Americas is this, Asia's is this, Europe is this, Oceania's is this. And the 1957, again, Africa's is this, America's is this. Yeah? Guys,
Yes.
not understanding?
No, I'm just noting it up.
Okay. Is it wonderful right now? Because if I change, let's say, the continent first, and if I change it to the year
Hello?
next, if I change it to the year next, see right now this. I have the continent, year, I mean to say Africa, 1952, 1957, 1962, 1967, 72, 77, 82, 87, 80, 92, 97, 2002, 2007. Because I took the continents as a first, the continent is Asia. Year segregated things. Year-wise average populations, average expectancies. Good to call this? Isn't it good representations?
It is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yes.
All right, guys. Let's say, if you wanted to retrieve the unique things, the unique let's say, if you wanted to retrieve the only number of unique values in the series, let's say the continent you wanted to retrieve, the number of unique countries in the continent, let's say, we can say that df dot group by the continent here. So according to the continent that you wanted to retrieve, continent, yeah, the
Yeah.
continent of country you're trying to retrieve, yeah, the unique things. If we say n unique method, yeah, where it says that we have Africa 15 to Americas 25 times, right? 33 times this, 30 times this, 22 times this. Yeah, you can even plot, let's say say this right now. Global year population. Year life expectancy is equals to year dot group by. This already we have done. Any difficulties? Yeah.
No.
What is that? Is that put over anyway?
Yeah. In 1952, in 1960, we have 2007 up to years, right? The average life expectancy for the 1952 is here, about 50. Even if you get the data and see the same. Where is it? Yeah, it is about 49.057 something, right? The 1960, right? Whatever, the 1957, it's 51 point something. That is about here. It's going to become, yeah, here, because we have 52.5 somewhere here. So year wise, we can actually say the average life expectancy for every year, for every continent, it is increasing. Because we plotted a graph, I just forget about this. We have a special section for this as well. Just for reference to make you guys feel like better what we're doing it. So I made this off, right? We written 100 lines of code today itself. You want this file?
Yes.
But I don't share.
I already done.
So because I gave the data, the GitHub for account. So access this. Where is this?
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah.
Access this and write everything on the Jupyter and send me the file by today.
Okay.
And I need all the operations, whatever you have learned. Right? Don't try to put it on in a, at least it has to be 100 lines, but don't try to repeat the same task every time. Right?
Okay.
Try with the experimental. It's only for your benefit, not for my benefit. Right? And tomorrow we're going to say, we're going to create a data frames and series manually rather than grabbing the data from different resource.
Okay.
Right.
Is it not open through Panda?
Sorry?
Is it not open through the Panda? I mean Anaconda. From where should
Anaconda, you can open from Anaconda also, or you can actually open from, say, Anaconda. You say Jupyter. If you click on this, you're going to get this particular black window. Once you get this, it automatically opens the browser window.
Okay.
Once you get the browser window, you get this particular screen. Then you click on this new Python 3. It's going to open a new thing, right? Then once it opens the new thing, you just click on this title, change the title to something, whatever the file name that you wanted to save it. Then write the program, shift enter or control enter. Wherever, try to make the markdown things, right? This is not useful for you anyway. Heading or heading wings, right? And see, let's see how you guys going to make a structurable and meaningful kind of analysis.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll see you back tomorrow at 11:30. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So but we have to beat it, move faster because the time is less for you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Am I going faster?
No, no.
No, right?
No.
No, because we have so much.
Yes.
See, if I really wanted to go faster, then I don't want you guys to mess it, with the subject. So
Yes.
I would request if you can spend at least much time in the session, at least 2 to 2.5 hours on a daily basis. We can definitely wrap this subject, everything by end of the month. I feel end of the month. So Rahul,
Yeah.
at least if you're not available in some of the days in the end of the month, then I would request at least you attend from the mobile. Yeah, we record the sessions. We can send you the links. You can keep listening that as well. But I don't think that it will be finished by 25th also. There is no chance it's going to be finished by 25th.
Don't worry, Rahul. After going to US also, you learn this.
No,
You'll
no,
be
no.
outfit for 10 days.
No, I'm trying to. No. I'm trying. I'll definitely. If the same pace is there, we'll definitely finish by 31st. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll finish by 31st. I'm thinking